afternoon, everybody. How are ya? This is All Astrology. I'm Amy.
And I am G.
And we are going to be doing
Moon signs.
So, we're going to be starting out today with...
Hold up.
Oh.
I got to mention the bonus material. That's the only reason that we decided to do this channel, so we could set ourselves apart from everybody else. So bonus time, we're going to go through the moon signs. We're going to show you how to find the natal moon in your chart, which is where the moon was on the day at the time you were born. And then we're going to tie into the upcoming May 4th new moon in Taurus. I know that all sounds like a lot, but we're going to walk you through your chart and show you where these things are. And then we're going to tie it into your rising signs, which we've gone over in the past videos. So this is actually Moon Signs Part 2, which we have yet to release Part 1. But we have it. It's in the video library. We're going to release these in a successive way that makes sense. All right, let's get right into it.
Okay, so the first chart that we're doing is June 16th, 1997, Chicago, Illinois, 5:17 p.m. We have a sun in Gemini, a rising sign of Scorpio with a moon in Scorpio.
Okay, so this is a moon in Scorpio, right?
Okay,
Did you hear your birth date? Get your chart.
We have the rising sign, as always, right there, Scorpio. There's the crescent moon just above it in Scorpio in the, you look right there, 12th house. 12th house Scorpio.
So this is a moon. She showed you where it's at.
Look right over here. You'll see the sun in Gemini.
Okay, so we're discussing the moon in Scorpio and how it ties into your new moon coming up, and of course, this ascendant. And it's the ascendant and the new moon, or I'm sorry, the ascendant and the natal moon are tied in this chart, right?
Let me just mention, in case you get confused, as always, the ascendant and the rising sign.
One and the same.
One and the same. Wait a minute, we've got the
Oh, that's just for ours. No names used on these readings.
Nope,
Nothing
we
but
don't
a
ever
birth time
show
and
names.
date. Right? So that's ascendant, rising sign, same thing, and this is your moon sign. So this person, we're talking about Scorpios. Again, we've talked about them in the past, really psychic people. They are, they have the ability to drive and to dig deep, and they're great researchers. They have the ability to connect to spirit, really psychic people. They can pretty much hear what you're thinking. This person, because they are a double Scorpio, they're a Scorpio moon, they are a Scorpio rising, Scorpio ascendant. If you are not doing work and dealing with spirit, you should be. I'm just going to be honest with you. I didn't even pay attention to the birth time or the birth year. But one day on your journey, if you're already not doing it, you'd be one of those people who has no problem being a medium and connecting to the other side and bringing loved ones through and friends for the people in the physical plane to actually have conversations with.
This person's about to be 22 years old.
Okay, so maybe you've done a little experimenting. Maybe as a child you often had these types of experiences thinking...
Probably heard things and you thought, is that my imagination? No, it's not your imagination.
And Scorpios hear the thoughts of others, you know, and that's kind of one of the lessons a Scorpio has to learn too, which is... even though you can hear a lot of things that are going on, unless someone has verbalized and shared it with you, there is this, I just want to say it, it's like an invasion of privacy actually that occurs. And so it's not, you really have to step into your own power and use some discernment as to what you reveal that you know. And so that takes some living and some experience to really, to grow into the sign. And to understand
the other thing that
attributes.
You have to do when you have strong Scorpio energy is you have to learn to be careful about what you repeat about what you know to other people. And having a Gemini sun, Geminis are very verbal.
They're all about communicating.
They communicate a lot and
thinking.
And they think a lot. So you
really about what they're thinking.
You really have to put a stop sign there between your brain and your mouth. And you have to really have a lot of discernment about what it is that you say and about what it is that you repeat, about what it is that you think, and about what it is that you hear that isn't spoken to you in a straightforward manner, and what it is that is spoken to you by other people. It's going to be really important for you to be especially careful about what it is that you say.
The tricky part about all of that, and I understand this, is deciphering the difference between what you think is your thought and what is in actuality hearing someone else's thought.
Yeah.
And that takes nothing but time to figure that out.
Right.
But knowing this now, going forward, you can then think it through first before you share or speak. Okay, that's vital. That's why she pointed out that you had a Gemini sun in the get-go, because communication and thinking, it's like, oh, well, I have this great idea. Guess what? Think again. This might have been an idea someone else had. It might have been information download from divine. And that's part of the journey for people who are really connected to the other side. Is it mine or is it divine? Is it somebody else? And so there's just a lot of troubleshooting and a lot of experimentation involved in how to work with that.
It's also going to be really important for you to be very cautious about how you use that information. Be sure that you use that information that you get for its highest purpose, because it's really easy for people that have a lot of Scorpio energy to take that information and to use it in very negative ways. So it's really, really vitally important that you use that Scorpio energy.
And why is that? Because Scorpios, just by natally, okay, it's just you're born with an inclination of a fight mentality. You have a lot of impetus. You have a lot of inertia. You have a lot of, even though it's a water sign, it's like it's got water and fire mixed, which is like the thrust of a volcano. Yeah. So you have that behind you, and you don't even realize it half the time, like you can see it in me right now, right? I have a Mars on my rising. Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. So you see it in me right now. You see there's like this fire, there's this passion, there's this drive, right? So a lot of people would describe it as being a little intense, like, whoa, tone it down a little bit, right?
She came
and so it's just being self-aware, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and move along. We don't mean to be lecturing, but this is just, when you have a double sign of anything, you have so much of that energy that unless someone is very straightforward with you about it and just tells you like it is, you're really not aware of it. And sometimes that's all you need, just someone to give it to you straight.
And with that moon placement, where it is, it's in the 12th house. It's in the house that's ruled by Pisces, which is another very highly sensitive, very connected to spirit sign. Those are the two signs that are very, very connected to spirit. That is going to enhance that energy.
Most definitely.
So that's why it's really vitally important to make sure that you are making sure that you take that and use that for its highest purpose.
Now, when we talk about the new moon coming up on May 4th, okay, here in your chart, it's a 13-degree new moon in Taurus, which has been marked, right there, okay? So there's the mark. That's 13 degrees. We follow it in to find out what house it's in, and look, it's number 6, okay? So we need to talk about Taurus in the 6th house. What I want you to look at in your chart, hopefully you have a chance to have your chart in your hand, because we send charts to those who let us know they're serious about learning and they're subscribing. We send a free chart to them. This is actually, if you look, it's at the opposite end of where your natal moon is, right?
Yeah.
And their natal moon is at what degree?
I'd have to look at it.
Oh, I thought you had them written down.
I didn't have it written down. No, it's at 7 degrees.
Okay, so it's not an exact opposition. And remember what we talked about in oppositions.
Oppositions.
I don't know where my pen went. So it helps to look. They have a physical thing. This is one side
when
of that energy.
When you have opposite energy, you have things pulling in opposite directions. Can add some friction. You have to think about a tug of war. right? It can add some frustration because you have energies pulling in opposite directions of each other. You're going to have that moon energy and that sun and moon energy at the opposite end. With the new moon, the sun and the moon are together.
So
They're
tell
on
me
top
how
of
she's
each
going to
other.
have an opposition, because, like, tell her how, or whoever this is, how is it going to look? Because the opposition is in the 12th and it's in the 6th, right? That's what
Right.
we're talking about. So
Right.
let's talk about the 6th house and the moon being there, and it's in Taurus, so that this person understands what the opposite side of this energy is going to look
So
like.
the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, which is your work, it's your health,
Yeah.
it's
Projects.
Projects.
I kept hearing that
It's-
last night.
it's logic, it's understanding how things fit together. It's the exact opposite of Pisces energy, which is intuitive.
Yeah.
It's
Watery and dreamy, like.
dreamlike.
Doesn't like details.
Yeah.
It's all about the big picture and wants everything just to
Yeah.
be very
See,
ethereal.
Virgos
and-
like detail. They
Yeah.
like to fit things into a box.
Yeah.
They like organization.
Also animals, domestic animals you have in your home.
Virgos love domestic animals.
And then the Taurus energy is all about what I value, what's important to me. So this opposition, especially since we have bonus time, I'm stating that because Uranus is going through this house. And what does that mean? It just means you might have some things that are going to be new to you, that are going to be a surprise. So there might be some surprising things in regards to food and animals and projects and work and hygiene and health. There might be some issues like that. Not necessarily on May 4th, but this was a little bit bonus of down the road of what you can expect in the next 7 years. But for this new moon, just be aware that it's a time of taking what we value and putting forth our affirmations, our intentions, our desires, and our wants, speaking them into the universe. Some people write them down. Some people just start talking about it to others. Let me take a further look at this chart and see where your... Okay, so that's in the 8th house.
Venus.
And that's all about the home. So the home, home, home. This is a double emphasis of home, because Virgo is very much about our domestic life, which is home. But not only is it about home, but it's about your family. It is your family that you value. It is your family that you are going to work hard for, right? It's your family that you want near and dear to you, and you're going to make your intentions.
And it's very emotional too.
Yeah, it's going to be real emotional because your Venus is in your sign of Cancer, and the Cancer is a really emotional sign. Yeah. It's where you find emotional satisfaction.
So maybe what we're looking at is taking that energy that we've been talking about in terms of connecting to spirit, and maybe this is a time for you to take that energy that you've been feeling, that you've been experiencing, and looking at it and saying, okay, this has always been an emotional experience for me. How do I take this energy that I've been experiencing, and how do I channel that energy, and how do I make it something that makes sense to me? How do I make sense out of it? How do I make it work in a way that is more logical? And how do I make it work for me in a way that brings value to me in my life?
Yes, ma'am. Earthy things. Just remember, Taurus is all about the earth. So,
and how do I keep it grounded?
Food's a big part of that. Yeah. And it might be, and that might be part of this too, is learning how to keep a balance in terms of that Pisces, Scorpio moon. And again, these are the water houses, and connecting to family, connecting to your own private family, like your dead relatives. Seriously, like if you haven't been doing this, I want you to maybe think about down the line somewhere in the future, whether you find a circle of people that you can work with and trust. And if you ever have any questions or concerns in these areas, you can always contact us. We have lots of resources that we can share with you, and how to move forward on that path.
And how to connect with your own family members who have passed over.
Yes. Okay. So utilize the Taurus new moon intention to the best of your ability. It's all about desire. Taurus has the ease of doing that and of bringing them to fruition.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Next chart, birth date.
Okay, the next one that we have is July 27th, 1992. Oh, shoot, I don't have a time on here.
All right, let's cheat.
But it's Chicago, Illinois.
And this says it is
5:55 p.m. We have a sun in Leo. We have a Sagittarius ascendant. We have the moon in Cancer.
All right.
In the
Here's
seventh
the moon.
house.
How did we find your moon? You got your chart. Okay. You look for that crescent. It's the inner planets. That's what we're looking at here. Okay. There's the moon. Follow it in. It's in the slice of pie. So is the number 7. Okay. And here it's in Cancer.
Oh, I know why we don't have the time on this. This is the one that we had to do a rectification on the time.
Okay. So that means somebody didn't have their actual birth time,
Which
which happens with a lot of charts, and many times if people...
There was some problems with the time, and we had to
Gotcha.
do some adjustments to the time.
So for this chart, okay, your moon is in your 7th house natally, and it's in Cancer. Cancers, we've talked about Cancer before. Home, family, mothering, being a mom.
The
It's the
seventh
moon
house,
is there.
The
The
seventh
moon-
house is about relationships, close personal relationships.
Yes, close personal relationships.
So the relationships with your parents, the relationships with
Significant one-on-ones. So friends, you have friends that
Friends.
are, we have a big group of friends. Some are just a handful in our inner circle. Those people are going to feel like family for you. You're
People
going to
that-
keep them close.
Yep, people that you date, people that you end up getting married to.
Business partnerships can be very
business
much so. Miss A and I,
partnerships.
like we're close in a lot of other ways, but we've been spiritual partners for a while.
Yep.
But now now we're linked on another
Now we're
level.
business
Right?
partners.
Now we're linked on another level. So those are important one-on-one relationships. So this moon, let's take a peek now. Okay, so it's in a nice relationship to the new moon that's coming up.
Right.
And let me show you what that looks like on this chart. Okay. In this chart, 6th house. I think that's what it says, right? Taurus, 13 degrees. Follow it up. It's in the 6th house. Okay. So I'm so
No,
sorry.
5th house.
That's the 5th. Wait a minute.
Yep, fifth house.
Hold up.
No,
Is
fourth.
this it?
Fourth house.
God, you must think we're retarded. I knew I wasn't right when I was saying it. I was just like the 6th, and I'm like, damn, another 6th house.
No.
So you're right.
Fourth.
They're like, no, it's the number 4 you're pointing at. It is so hard to see this, like, because I have to look at it through that way. Anyway, so this is the 4th house. Wow. So this new moon is...
But it is a sextile.
They don't know what that means. So anyway, this new moon is all about the home.
It is all
Because
about
it's in the
home.
4th house, and Cancer is the 4th house. They mean one and the same thing. The moon, Cancer, and the 4th house all mean the same thing. The moon is the ruler of the 4th house. The moon is the ruler of Cancer. So this is an extra emphasis on family and on home, okay? And emotions, your emotional world. And you value this is what Taurus is. It's what we value. So earthy things are going to be important. The home is going to be very important.
So you need to set some new
Yes.
intentions when this new moon comes around on May 4th
May
about
4th, new moon.
what it is that you want your home to look like and to be like,
Yes.
and what you want your home environment to be like
Yes.
moving forward. This is going to be really, really important for you.
And you're going to have the ability to do this because you have a passionate Venus. Venus rules Taurus. It has your Venus in particular. When I say that, how do I know that? I look at your Venus because it rules Taurus, and your Venus is in fire. It's in Leo. So anytime you have fire, it gives you this, it's that volcano. You get the inertia. It's the flame underneath the rocket, right? That gets it up into the sky. So use this time. Use this important new moon energy of May 4th.
And this is a really fiery person, so.
Okay, so you have fire to begin with. Yeah, I was trying to keep it simple and not pull in sun signs, but you have a fiery sun. Bottom line, you have a fiery sun. And this is time to just focus on, like Miss A said, what your true values are. You might have to reevaluate your values. You might have to say, okay, what I once thought I really, really wanted, I'm in this period of rethinking that right now.
Yeah.
And so the new moon is giving you a window of opportunity to know what it is and put it down, plant those seeds. Write them on paper, speak them, share them with significant others. Share that it's going to work if you stay focused. I'm not saying it's going to be super easy because it's a path. It's a journey. It's a quest.
It's never easy.
If it's what we really desire, there's work involved. Bottom line, we have to work for what we want. So just use the ability of all that fire, focus it, and you're going to get to what you want to get to. And your home is in the midst of changing. Your chart shows that. Okay, you have a lot of planets in your fourth house. See these outer ones? They're going through your fourth house right now. And there's one, it's a planet right there. I'm not going to even say the name. I'll just tell you it's a planet of surprises. It just is.
Yeah.
It's the planet that we all know the meaning of it is to expect the unexpected. So you may change your home, and what it looks like is probably going to go through a metamorphosis stage for the next 6.5 years.
Yep.
Okay, maybe that doesn't sound good. Just know this in advance. You're just going to be figuring that out as you go along.
There's going to be a lot of changes that are going to be happening that you're not necessarily going to expect. And the way you thought that your home was going to be is probably not the way that it's going to end up looking. When you come to 7 years from now and you look back to now, it's going to probably look very different from what you think at this point in time that it's going to look like 7 years from now.
And that's okay. It's called growth. Okay?
Yep.
It's called growth.
Yep.
All right. We've got another chart here. We're going to move on. I'm going to take this time right now while we're getting that other chart ready. If you are finding value in what we are supplying to you today, do me a favor. Go down below, hit subscribe, tap the bell so that you get alerts when we drop new weekly fresh videos.
Okay, so the chart that we're doing is
Yes,
October 30th, 2009.
Where's this tricky moon at?
This
a
tricky
one.
moon is in Pisces at 29 degrees in the third house.
I'm calling it tricky because you see how close it is, right?
Okay, so let me finish the birth information.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
October 30th, 2009, 12:12 p.m. in Hinsdale, Illinois.
Okay, so to find your natal moon, right? Same thing. Find the crescent, go up, right? Now, because this is what we call a cusp. Cusp is the beginning of a new house, a beginning of a new sign. And you see how close that is? It's like, how do I know exactly? Good question. Let me show you. I didn't do this on the other charts, but I need to do it for your chart. Because
of
of
how
that.
close it is.
On a chart, the charts we've sent you, some of the charts that we've sent, there is this, what kind of a graph would you call this exactly?
Well, I would call this the square graph on the back.
Okay, some
Or
charts,
at the bottom.
Right, some charts we've given you, they're at the bottom of your page. This one is on the back. So it's a square graph, okay? And in that square graph, you would then find the moon in the fine detailed. See that, the text there? There's a sun sign and there's the crescent moon. You just follow that across, right? Can you see that? Does it even focus in on that?
Yeah, you can kind of see it. There it is, 29
It's blurry
degrees.
as hell, so I won't even go further. But I gave you how to look at it. You turn your paper over, take a look, and it says right there, you have a 29 degrees Pisces, and then it's got some numbers after that say 36, 26. We're not going to go into explaining what those are right now. All you need to know is you have a 29 degree Pisces moon. It doesn't say degrees, by the way, but the first number represents the degrees. Okay, so right above it, you have a 7 degree sun. You following along with what I'm saying?
Okay, there are 30 degrees in every single sign. So for a 29 degree planet, that's at 36 minutes. That means that planet is almost, that means the moon is almost
at the 30 degree mark.
At the 30 degree mark. It is almost in Aries.
Okay, so when it's close like that, you have to talk about both. We have to talk about this sign in this house and this sign in this house. because it literally, that energy bleeds over into both of the houses. It just does, okay?
Well, not only is it really close to the house line, the division between the second and the third house, it's really close to the sign line between Pisces and Aries
Yes.
in this particular chart.
Yes.
Which is, it gets a double whammy. And when we're talking about 29 degrees, or when we're talking about 0 degrees, we're talking about what we call a critical degree.
Means you have more intense experiences in a way.
Yeah, you do.
The energy is heightened. When energy is heightened, you're going to have experiences that are just going to be, well, they have more energy to them, which means they're going to be more intense. So this is in regards to communications because it's your third house. It involves your head and thinking. It involves your physical body, okay? It's going to involve, there might be surprises too, right? Even though I know this is at 23, it's kind of far away actually. So it's really totally out of orb, right?
Yeah, it really is.
It's
We're
very
not
much
even
so
gonna.
out of
We're
orb.
not
So
even
we'll leave
really
that
gonna
alone.
leave that
So no
alone.
necessarily surprises involved, but it has to do with your value system, okay? The things that you value has to do with how you think. It has to do with fire and water being mixed together, okay?
It's also going to involve this strange combination between the dream world and the physical world.
Yes, your physical body. So,
Sometimes you may wake up in the middle of the night having this strange dream and feeling as if that dream was so physically real that you could actually touch what was happening.
and it's really possible you are a very active daydreamer is also what I'm thinking, right? Because it's about our physical world. Aries is about the entire body, but it is about the head as well, but more on the physical side. But because you're so close to that Pisces line there, you got to pull in some of that dreaminess. So daydreaming and it being filtering into your thoughts during the day. So hello, daydreaming, right?
Yep.
I would think that that's going to be a big factor. So how this person thinks, your emotional satisfaction is tied into this because the moon is there, okay?
Yeah.
So daydreaming,
It's going to be really easy.
it's going to be really easy and it's going to be,
Could almost get kind of a little bit lost in it.
you'd be
I
a
would
great
think.
writer. You'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
a great writer. Take these things that you're doing, these little scenarios and little film clips you have in your head, right? Do you see in images? Do you know what I'm saying? Some people are like, you're very image-like. And so if you see images and stuff, maybe this means like it's not so much about writing stories, but maybe making screenplays, maybe putting it on a screen, making your own little home movie type thing, doing some YouTube stuff. I don't know. Do something with
Cartooning.
it. Do something with it
There's
because
all kinds of things that you could do if you could write out stories that have great imagery. You could do poetry that have great imagery. You could do comic strips that have really strong images. There are so many different ways that you could combine image and text and build on those things together because those things are so close together.
yeah, they are. They're so close.
It would be
together.
really strong.
Yes, I agree 100%. She has a nice help from another fiery planet
Yep.
to give you the impetus to do this,
And then
to take some action with this.
I'm looking at this over here and I'm just
Yeah.
going, oh yeah, it's
take some-
definitely there.
Yeah, take some action with it. So now it's going to be your bonus time, which we're going to pull in your new moon, and that is happening on May 4th, and it is 13 degrees in Taurus. So I'm going to flip the chart up right now to show you this.
Right in the middle of the fourth house.
All right, we didn't mark it, but I'm going to point. So this is all about home again, right? Taurus in the home, fourth house. It relates to family. It relates to emotional satisfaction, the earth and food. You're going to be emotionally satisfied, but more importantly and more specifically, it's going to tie into people, groups of people. It's going to tie in,
Nope.
one-on-one
Nope,
relationships.
Nope.
Yes, one-on-one relationships.
Ninth house.
It's ninth house, but it's in Libra. So it's going to be significant one-on-one relationships.
True.
Not big groups, okay? So family,
Small.
close relationships within
Close,
the family.
intimate relationships.
And how you love, how you receive love, the things that you love. You're going to like higher thinking things. You're going to like learning. keep pursuing the learning. You're going to like learning. You have another sign that's close to there. So if you keep pursuing that, you may find yourself very much in a teaching role. Okay. Very typical to be in a teaching role. You also are going to like philosophy. You're going to like to, thinking about traveling to further away places and going on long journeys. Traveling. You're going to, who the hell doesn't like traveling? You're going to love traveling, right? This is going to be part of fun for you. You're going to value it. You might even in a weird way find that traveling feels natural to you, almost feels like home in a sense.
True.
Going on long journeys because it's an emotional satisfaction tied in. And if somebody were to buy you a trip, airline ticket, and say, hey, we're going to such and such, to you, that's like, oh my God, you really love me. Like that would be the best gift someone could give you, actually.
Yeah. And take advantage of that because that's going to allow you to learn a lot about other places and other cultures.
Most definitely.
And you can take all of that imagery and all of those sights and sounds and smells and flavors, and you can take all of that and you can infuse all of that into whatever it is that you put down onto paper and that you bring to the rest of the world around you.
Plant your seeds. May 4th is the new moon. New moons are for planting our seeds. They are for speaking our affirmations. They are setting intention time, okay?
Yep.
So what we just described, all of that stuff we just said, is all of the ways you're supposed to focus your thoughts for this new moon, okay? This is a new moon in Taurus. I keep repeating this over and over. It's important to use all the new moons, but especially a Taurus one, because Taurus has a magnetic ability. So what you desire, Taurus is the sign of desire in the zodiac. What you desire, you can bring to fruition.
It will draw to you.
You can actually plant a seed and eventually you will be able to harvest and there will be fruit. Okay? As long as you keep focused on the intention.
Alrighty.
Okay. And is that all the charts for this?
That's all we've got for this particular episode.
Great. Okay. I'm happy. So remember everybody, subscribe, hit the bell. That way you know when we have our up and coming shows. And we publish weekly, fresh material. We're going to try to do more than once a week, but we'll see. We can't guarantee or promise that.
If you have any questions, please put the questions down in the comments or send them to our Gmail account. We'll be happy to answer those questions, get them back to you. Also know that if you want further readings that are more personalized, you can go to our website and order any of the readings that we have listed there, or please feel free to get back in touch with us and tell us anything else more specifically that you would like from us. We would love to hear from you. That's really important to us. We want to know what we're doing right and anything more that you really want from us. We're here for you guys.
This is your channel, okay? And so adding to that, we have created, we're in the process of creating a best beginners zodiac pack.
Right.
So what does that mean? We decided that through all of our years of studying astrology and all of our trials and tribulations and jumping over hurdles and all of that, we designed and are in the process of putting together a nice little packet
that will be very inexpensive, that you can download and pay for off of our website. We haven't posted it yet. We're going to get it up there in the next couple of weeks.
Yep. It'll help you do the 1, 2, 3s of how to get involved.
It'll be a study guide that you can walk through the process of learning, and it will help you.
Be very much bullet pointed, let me tell you that. It's not going to be a book. It's not going to be, because I know the word study in my brain, I thought, oh, fuck. I don't have time for that. It'll be bullet points. You want to know what the hell Venus means? I mentioned the word Venus. What does that mean? It's just going to have quick one words next to it that are going to be like, okay, bam, bam, bam.
And it's going to have all the connections of everything that's connected to everything else. Because that was one of the things that drove me crazy.
Yeah.
It was like,
we had to connect the dots for ourselves. No one did it.
Nobody connected the dots for us. So we're going to connect the dots for you to make it easier.
That's step 1. Okay? So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting our work and in this channel and everything that we do. We love what we do. We are more than happy to be part of this community with you guys.
And thanks for making us a part of your lives and being with us.
All right. Till next time, stay tuned.
And just remember, it's
All
all
astrology.
astrology.
Bye.
Bye.